Welcome back to Thingamajig's Racing Channel. Yeah, that was cray. So, yeah, I totally mistimed. Well, no, in all fairness, on my... I was told he had to be at work at 4:30. So if I left at 4, we would have had plenty of time to get there. But as it turned out, he was starting work at 4:15. Then I don't know. I even checked my text messages. Oh, big stretch. Sorry. I checked my text notes. I had to stop the other bleed if you're only just finding this and you're thinking, what the hell are you on about? This is part 2 of round 3's VRC, Virtual Racers Club's Crown Masters Trophy, Miyabi. And we'll catch up with what's going on there, but I'm just catching up on the story of we had to stop the stream because I had to be a hero and take my son to work. And but yeah, I checked. There was miscommunication. It wasn't all my fault. We could have finished that stream and got him to work by 4:30, but for some reason something got mixed up and it was 4:15. So we had to stop the stream. So where are we? Right, Big Dan is leading the way. He's made one stop from mediums. He went very long and he changed to softs, and now he is getting very close to another pit stop. It's a 40-minute race and we are nearly 27 minutes in. So there's 13 minutes left, really, just over, of the clock. But the last 5 minutes of the race, the pit lane will be closed. So the window of Big Dan's pitting is small. He's going to have to do it soon. Skyjacker, on the other hand, is in second. He pitted very early to get rid of his medium tyres and ran a long stint on softs until they were unbearable. And then he's pitted for another set of softs, and he's got enough fuel, we think, to get to the end. And he's closed up quite nicely to Big Dan, whom we already understand is going to have to make another pit stop before the end of this race. Koikap has been a wise sim racer. He stayed on the softs for a long time, came in, put the mediums on. We thought he was running to the end and we thought he was going to be quite tight on fuel, but possibly maybe he could have done it. But no, he did about 4 laps on the mediums. He came back in, he's put the softs on, filled her up, and he's running to the end as well. So that puts him, I'm sure, ahead of Big Dan as well. I don't think Big Dan is a pit stop ahead of Koikap. Shadow Rider running to the end now on a set of softs in 4th. JTX also, we believe, running to the end on a set of softs in 5th. Electric running to the end, but his mediums are starting to look a bit abused, and he has poor power further down the road, also on an abused set of mediums, trying to get to the end. Jammy Dodger on a fresh set of softs, chasing down poor power, and Harvey on a fresh set of softs there, and he looks like he's in a battle with the Pat at the moment, who's also on a fresh set of softs. So we'll knock it back a couple of seconds there. Oh, there's Pat. He's just come out the pits and into that race with the Harvey. There, he must have pitted. Yeah, he pitted the lap before. So, ladies and gentlemen, we will continue our journey with the Virtual Racers Club and round 3 of the Crown Masters Trophy. I am so sorry for the interruption. So Harvey then, and Pat then, we know, has come into the pits. And Harvey there he's pitted last time around. And Jammy Dodger moves on up as Pat shuffles down. Now he's coming out of the pits, and he's found himself alongside the halves, and the halves has gone through. But it's even Stevens between Harvey and the Pat here, except Pat's got a little bit more experience in the car than the Harvey has. So Pat on those soft tyres versus Harvey for the rest of this race. Skyjack has gone ahead of Big Dan, and Big Dan now cruising to the pit lane, we suspect. His tyres shot. Oh, he could barely get the Crown Trophy vehicle into the pit lane, and that is Koikap then. I surmised he was less than a pit stop behind Big Dan, but Pat he's not even at his pit crew yet. And Big Dan coming around. It's not the final corner because there's a chicane before the start finish line. Big Dan then being serviced. Koi Carp coming down the start straight. Big Dan's been released. Koi Carp then along the straight, and it's Big Dan's out. He's out by the skin of his teeth, ladies and gentlemen. That was a tough assignment by the pit crew of Bigger Dan, and they did the job brilliantly. But now Sky has got a huge half a lap on Big Dan. But does Skyjacker's tyres, will they last the trip? Will they last? They've still got 12 minutes to go, and they look half used already. So Big Dan may be wise here. He's one to watch out for. Koi Carp chasing Big Dan, doing good lap times, but Big Dan, he's doing better ones. Shadow Rider up to 4th ahead of JTX, but JTX in touching distance of the Rider of Shadows. So Shadow Rider, nothing settled about his race at the moment. Nothing is done and dusted. 41.2 from Shadow Rider last time around. JTX at 42.2 though. He's lost a second to his man in that lap. Electric in 6th. He's on those medium tyres. He's got his arm, he's got his one hand tied behind his back at the moment with those tyres. And I don't know how far behind JTX he is, an hour far ahead of Paul Power, who's also on the medium tyres but being caught by the Dodger. Harvey has been, he's behind with the Pat, is he a lap behind virtually these guys? That's amazing. But Pat on those soft tyres now has a bit of I'm not sure how he's, because he was racing with the halves. He's dropped back a little bit. He might have had a small off. But Jammy Dodger on Paul Power. They're both, Jammy's on the mediums. This is why, for Electric, it might be worth him coming in and just putting a set of soft tyres on for the last 10 minutes, just to try and catch up. Jammy Dodger through, and this is a concern for now. Jammy Dodger, Electric is, Paul Power's back through. Unbelievable racing, ladies and gentlemen. Paul Power doesn't care about that the mediums are a second a lap slower. Skyjacker is pitting. He does feel those tyres. He probably senses the tyres might not make the distance. He's coming to the pits. Big Dan on his way around, and Skyjacker looks like he might get out. It's not going to need fuel, is he? He's just going to go for the tyres. Big Dan coming up towards the chicane, and Skyjacker, no, there is a bit of fuel gone dripping into that car, and Skyjacker does get out ahead of Big Dan, actually quite a way. It was no, there was no worry about that at all. He definitely had the time in hand to make that stop. And now any chance Big Dan had of hoping that Skyjacker's tyres would fail on him and he could close the gap that way have gone. They've gone. Skyjacker just blew them all away. JTX is making a pit stop, and maybe an Electric continues on. He's continuing on with those medium tyres, but he has gained a position from JTX. Now this is a surprise. I thought a lot of these guys would run to the end, but no, the fuel, they do need a bit more fuel, it seems. They've all topping up to about half a tank. Paul Power then moves ahead, as does Jammy Dodger. JTX comes out the pits, but on a super fresh set of soft tyres, ladies and gents. And Jammy Dodgers, he's starting to use his up now, and Paul Power still doing an amazing job on those medium sports tyres, keeping Pat at bay, but Pat is a lap behind now. Pat's just unlapped himself from Paul Power. Paul Power knows that's not his foe. It's the Dodger behind him. Now JTX, and just to spice it up a little bit more, ladies and gentlemen, Skyjacker is encroaching on this battle, and it's unfair. It's unfair for the blue flags to be weighed up here, because we've got real racing. Electric. JTX goes for an inside move. Those fresh tyres really come to life for JTX. Paul Power and Jammy Dodger racing each other, sliding to the outside, and Skyjacker makes his way through as well, but JTX absolutely solid there. Decisive move from JTX, no hesitation, and he's still going hell for leather. He doesn't want to slow down for the Skyjacker, the leader of the race at the moment, because he's filled with adrenaline, ladies and gentlemen. He's absolutely buzzing from the move, and Skyjacker closes in, and now JTX moves over to give Skyjacker and Jammy. He's going to try and pull one as JTX gets back up to pace. And it wasn't too bad. But Big Dan, he's got all that to come as well, unfortunately. But Skyjacker clearing the worst of it. Skyjacker still in the lead, clearing the worst of it. Big Dan in second, Koikarp in third, and Koikarp's tyres are going to struggle, ladies and gentlemen. 8 minutes left on the clock, and Koikarp already halfway through his set of soft sports tyres. Shadow Rider, something similar to Koikarp. They are going to be on the rims by the end of the race. Electric, oh, his mediums. He may have to stop. They've only got 2 minutes until the pit lane closes, so he has got to make a decision. And he possibly, oh, look at that. You've got to change them, bro. Those medium tyres are not helping you in the slightest. JTX is on a absolute tear. He's on his way. Be warned, beware. Electric. So Electric asking for the mediums to do quite a lot of work here, and they really don't want to do it. They've already kicked back and said no. JTX breaking free, and he's got himself past, not quite past Pat yet. Jammy Dodger then in 7th. He's left Paul Power behind, and Paul Power is kind of safe from Halves. Halves having a bit of a mare in the Toyota, as Pat went, he's not had so much of a mare, but he went aggressive with his pit strategy. He went for a hard tyre to see if it was feasible, but it was just too slow, and had to reverse out of that strategy and go to the medium. So he is a pit stop kind of behind everyone at the moment. Harvey is with Electric, who is struggling for grip at the moment. Big Dan is in amongst that traffic now that Skyjacker had earlier. Skyjacker taking the fastest lap, as we have 5.5 minutes left of racing here at Miyabi, and it has been an absolute pleasure, even though it's been over 2 streams, which I am still utterly sorry for, and it was all kind of my fault and a bit of miscommunication. But Big Dan closing in. What happened was nearly 18 years ago. Well, it'd be longer, wouldn't it, because of the 9-month gestation period. But yeah, so over 18 years ago, me and my wife had this crazy idea about having a kid, and here we are. We had to split the stream. So Skyjacker crosses the line in the lead with Big Dan. He's some way behind. It was a tough call for Big Dan. He gave it his all. The staying on the medium tyres, I think, is costly. Coy and Sky having the right ideas, really keeping the medium tyre to a minimum run as best they can. Shadow Rider, solid 4th there from Shadow Rider. Electric, it's working for him, isn't it? I said, oh, he's got to change those tyres. He's got to change those tyres to give himself a fighting chance at the end. But at the moment, he's holding on. JTX is somewhat closer though, with Electric doing 43.9s at the moment on an old shoddy set of medium tyres. JTX on those fresh set of softs is absolutely slapping with a 41.6, and Electric could be in trouble. That 5th place might be fluid at the moment, because JTX is on his way for it, and Jammy Dodger not that much further behind, but I suspect Jammy Dodger's tyres are going to be tough by the end of the race. I don't know if he's going to have the tyres to go at it. We've got a yellow flag, and I don't know what for. I have no idea. Everyone seems to be in place, so I'm not sure what the yellow flags were for. But Big Dan catching up with the Pat now, and Koikarp solid in 3rd. Shadow Rider nowhere near him, so Koikarp is clear. And I mean, I'm not sure if he's chasing Big Dan around. He's not that far behind Big Dan, and now Big Dan's getting caught up in a bit of traffic. It might give Coy an opportunity, as Big Dan clears Pat at the moment, and he's got the halves up ahead to look into. Now, where is the half? Halves there. So half, I'll tell you what, Pat, 50, lap 50, yeah, Pat's caught up the Harvey quite nicely, you hear. So Pat's just got his head down and absolutely cracked on. Oh no, Pat might not have enough fuel to get to the end. Oh, Pat, what if it could go wrong, it has gone wrong for the Pat. The hard tyres, not the right choice. And now he's catching up with the halves, getting his race on finally, and his fuel isn't gonna make the distance. And the Big Dan's just got totally out of that one. He's like, my word, that's too rich for my blood. As the Pat goes flying back past Big Dan to try and make a move on the halves, and Big Dan at the moment, frustration. Where is the Coy? Cameraman, there you go. Coy is closing in. Big Dan is costing him big in this race at the moment with Pat and halves. And Big Dan just wants to clear these guys. And Jammy Dodger's come along as well for the fun and frolics. Where's Jammy Dodger? He's up in 7th. Electric has slid down to JTX's caught. Whoa, JTX is not the only thing he's caught. He caught Electric and he caught his Toyota. Cracking save of JTX. That was gone. That should have been done, dusted, and into the barrier. But JTX, lightning quick reflexes there to catch that. And Electric then struggling on the medium tyres. And the pit lane's closed now. There's nothing he can do about it. He's stuck with them. Jammy Dodger in 7th, chasing them down. Paul Power on his own in 8th. Harvey still ahead of the Pats. And it looks like Big Dan is now behind Coy, is he? No, Big Dan's cleared him. Coy Carp's now caught them up, and Pat's got out of that one. Had a bit of a wiggle on. Is that Pat ahead? No, he's still not ahead of the halves. But Coy Carp has cleared him, and that has cut a lot of space down between himself and Big Dan. Big Dan, oh, his fuel was flashing. Maybe it wasn't. It looked like it was flashing for a second. But now it's flashing. So's Skyjackers, but we are into the last minute of the race. And I think everyone's going to clear the line that needs to clear the line before Skyjacker comes over and around. So Skyjacker, well played today, good strategy, solid drive. And we thought it was tight on that third pit stop, but second, I'm not sure which one. But he got there, got it done. Skyjacker then, oh, he crossed the line. He's getting a lap of honour. It's Big Dan. Oh, no, it's not. It is him. It's JTX then in 5th place. Takes 5th. Electric next up in 6th. He got there in the end, lost 1 position. Jammy Dodger, Big Dan's crossed the line as well. God, it's going to be Coy Carp in 3rd, take a boom, my son. Shadow Rider in 4th. We've already seen Jammy Dodger cross the line. Paul Power, well, he's all right because Harvey's crossed the line, and here comes the Pat out of fuel. The crawl of shame to the line for Pat. And then Paul Power, the last man, no, not the last man to cross the line. It's that man there, Skyjacker. Well done, well won. Cracking stuff. That was a bit bedlam at the end, trying to follow who was who. Adam saying, A up all, almost missed the second half of this fascinating race. It was a good one. Adam saying, hope Nipper got to work on time. Yeah, we got there in plenty of time. And Adam saying, great catch. That was from JTX, who nearly lost everything. So Skyjacker extends his lead at the top, taking 2 wins from the round. Cracking stuff. Big Dan, runner-up in both races, it seems, and he's losing touch with Skyjacker in this championship. He's got to have a better second half. He's got to come back stronger, ladies and gentlemen, and go on the aggressive tack. He's got to do a Max Verstappen, take all the downforce off, and just drive on your seat of your pants to try and catch that man up there. Coy Carp, another solid performance for 3rd place, just ahead of Shadow Rider, who got 4th. JTX came back in the end of that race against Electric, but Electric stuck on those medium tyres all the way to the end. I mean, they lasted, but he was losing a solid lot of time. Jammy Dodger, lively is all I can say about Jammy Dodger's race. What a lively race he's had. He was almost involved in racing almost every lap. It was fantastic to see. Paul Power, solid performance. At the end there, dropped out on the medium tyres, but early doors looking promising for the second half of the season. Harvey in 9th, getting into a good duking battle with the Pat. and in the end came out on top, and Pat's race just got from worse to worse with the fuel, the hard tyres, everything that went wrong could go wrong, or anything that could go wrong, went wrong. But Skyjacker comes out of Miyabi smelling of roses, ladies and gentlemen. That's the Virtual Racers Club's Crown Masters Trophy, round 3. And I can't wait to see the next instalment of that. And any of you that had that stream ruined by the split, I am so sorry. But everything's okay. I was a big goddamn hero, and my son got to work, and we still got the stream done in a decent time. Thank you very much. I'll see you next time. Tiru, peace and love. Peace and love, y'all.